Well, I think my boy wants out today. So, it's 10 o'clock-ish. Pretty normal time for Jack to want to come out. So, door's open, bud. Coming out to say hello. Say woohoo, Mum. Thank you. And it is beautiful outside today, my boy. So, we're going to hit the grass. I don't know when, but we will. So today I might show you, Jack's enclosure. Just so you can get an idea of what his setup is. So I'll start with size. I'll go back so you can see. It is 1200 by 500 by 500. Not a big enclosure, but for Jack right now it is perfect. He's going to outgrow it. I don't laugh, believe me, but it's kind of funny when I hear people say, oh, so he won't grow much more than that because, that's the size enclosure that he's in. They only grow to the size of their enclosure. So I go, well, no, he's not a fish. He will keep growing. So a lot of people have that conception that they only grow to the size of their enclosure. Not true. Jack is going to be one big boy. This enclosure is not going to cut it. But for now, it's perfectly fine. And in actual fact, the smaller sometimes is better. Snakes do tend to like smaller spaces. Plus, Jack gets out all of the time. So he gets, he's not stuck in this little thing all day, every day. But he will get a bigger enclosure. So the setup is, I use a heat panel. And Jack is going to go off and do his bit. I'll keep flashing onto Jack while I do this. So I switched over to heat panels, which I'll get the camera in so you can, I twisted it, that's no good. Heat panel. Now that's a 40 watt. It's connected to a dimming thermostat, which you must use. Always use your heating with a thermostat controller. So, and that works perfectly fine. Of course, the bigger the enclosure, the more watts you'll want with your heat panel. I only have one, I'm fibbing. I do have two temperature gauges because Jack's enclosure is getting quite warm down this side. I don't monitor lilies because I know it's a consistent, there's not much variation, but I'm not really ever worried about the cool end anyway. It's more the hot end. Jack does not like high temperatures at all. So 30 at his hot end, maybe 31, 32 when I feed him, just to help with the digestion. But on average, I don't set it for more than 31, but I do keep it around that 30. So he's quite happy with that. He moves to cool to warm to cool to warm quite regularly. Now I'm using aspen. You can use newspaper, repti bark, whatever you like. go for it. Logs, they've all been debarked, bleached and put in there. Plants, yeah, I just like to pretty it up, make it look, I don't know, just add something to it, I guess. And 2 hides, 1 warm end, 1 cool end. Oh, blue. I've put this table in because Jack likes to come on up here and look out of his door here, and he has his hammock and he loves his hammock. He spends a lot of time up there having a snooze. And his water bowl. He needs a bigger water bowl, but he needs a bigger enclosure. But at this point, I give him water. I know he gets plenty of. I see him in there. So I've not got a problem. So I have LED, I'll get this in here, lighting, and that's the night light. I just like that on just so I can check him out, see what he's doing, and yeah, that's the only reason why that's in there. Now, that's my basic setup. Like I said, I have a temperature gauge up here to check out his cooler. Now, how is that for such a good boy? And I'm saying that maybe too soon. Yeah, he can get down in there. He can go under there, go anywhere he likes. Oh, see, I did speak too soon. But generally, you know, he doesn't. He hangs out where I can see him, keeps his head where it's visible. Not all the time, but in general, he's pretty darn good. So he's just going to cruise along out there. I'll keep my eye on him, of course. So that's my general setup. Why do I have this? In the winter, mating season, you know, Jack was digging his nose in here trying to get that door open. I just put that on. That'll come off when could have come off a couple of weeks ago. I also, if you see on Lily's, have tape running along there, and the same on hers, due to the fact they were digging, really digging in here and rubbing themselves along, which it's, you know, quite hard there. So I put the tape up and it confused them. They couldn't visualise where that started and they just stopped doing it. Now Jack is venturing somewhere where I don't want him to go to, so I'm going to bring him on out. Come on, man. Where do you think you're going? I'm going to have to try and hold this camera. Sorry, guys. I haven't got it on a tripod. And I'm just going to swing him back around and head him in a direction that I'm happy for him to go in. Or he's going to hide in the blanket. Okay, I'll open that up for you, dude. Sorry for going in and out of the view. Yeah, forget sometimes I've actually got it in my hand. But, you know, that's my basic setup. You can have more, you can have less, you can do what you like. But always remembering their requirements in that process. Having that warm end and the cool end. I did say I don't worry about the cool end, and I don't. You know, people are fanatical. Oh, it's got to be no less than 27 at the cool end, etc. They'll get sick, RIs, etc., health issues if it's too cold over that side. Now my temperature right now is 25.8. That might get down to 24 something in the night. Won't, of course, over summer. But he can go to the warm end. You know, they're not stupid. If that's starting to get cool over here and he's getting cold, then he's going to go over to his warm side. So, you know, he can hide over there, he can go up on his table, so he's safe over there too, or he'll stay at the cool end. You know, it can be sitting on 25, but Jack's fast asleep up there. And I've never had any health issues with him. Now this setup is exactly the same. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, it's the same as Lily's. She has exactly the same as Jack, only her temperatures, she tends to like the 32 to 33. So that's how hers is set. But the same thing. She has a table. I'll explain a little bit more about that in another video, just why that table is there. There is a reason. But otherwise, it's the same as Jack's, just a higher temp. Wouldn't have a clue what that end, but her cool end is, but I would say it's that 25, the same as Jack's. Jessie's in a different type of enclosure for now, so, but the same thing. He's up under the basking is about 32. I don't know what his cool side is, but where he's actually, if you can just see him, he's laying right there. That's around 27. So that's his cooler piece. Jessie never goes to ground. Very rarely, never see him in there, never uses a hide. He hangs on his hammock on his security lock, which I've mentioned in a previous video. So always got fresh water, clean water. Lily has newspaper 1 in Aspen. Why? You know, I would even do Reptibark Aspen. I would mix it up. I would give them different surfaces to crawl around on. They're out in the wild. They go from dirt to rocks to logs to grass to, you know, don't be afraid to mix it. You know, I wouldn't say put aspen, put newspaper, put something else. You know, I just do the two different, and I'll do that with Jack as well. And he's determined to go over that side for some reason today. So I'm trying to make this short and sweet, and it always ends up on 12 minutes, 13 minutes in. But as you can see, that's their setup. So there isn't much more to tell you. I think if there's anything that I've missed out, Jack and Lily have the heat panels. Jessie has the heat lamp. Eventually, the idea is this Lily's enclosure will go on top of Jack's enclosure. You know, of course, this will be opened and the bottom will be off and the top and put on. And that's going to be Lily's enclosure. Jack has a 1800 by 600 by 600 enclosure that he will be going into eventually. If Lily is bigger than Jack, well, but the reason why I'm thinking Lily in these two, on top of one on top of the other, is she is arboreal. She does like to climb. I'm not saying she's completely arboreal, she's semi, but she spends a lot of time up. She never uses her hides. Just even coming into shed. So far, I can barely see her eyes, but you know, she's starting to darken from my previous video. You'll see that. She won't use a hide. If she does, I'll video it. Jessie never uses a hide. He's a jungle too. So far for Jessie, I haven't you know, figured out his next enclosure, but he's getting pretty close. I have got another one exactly the same as that, but bigger, and I'll probably go with that one next for Jesse, and then I'll look at, of course, a bigger one again for him, but currently he's quite content in there. So if I've missed anything out, if you're unsure of something that you're doing or not doing or should be or shouldn't, leave a comment and I'll hopefully be able to help you out. So guys, I will wrap it up. I'll get some more video of my boy out today. I will get Lily out, and I'm not going to do it with Jesse yet, being such a funny little fellow that he is. I really don't want to scare him in any way, so out time for him is not on the table yet. Well, outside time anyway. So we're going to, Jack, would you like to come up and say goodbye to everybody today? Well, for this particular piece of video, you know, he's fighting me on, I want to go back down there, Mum. So, we will say goodbye. Jack will be out for a while. So, enjoy, guys. Like, subscribe, ask any questions. I will get back to you. Bye.